Oh, one traffic light hometown, that traffic light appeared in the 90s. And there is like one grocery store, everybody knows everybody's name. The fire department is still volunteers, so it's like a minimum wage hub. Not that there's anything wrong with that for people who are okay with it, but it was just not what I wanted for me. Just seeing my little circle of family and friends just wasn't what I wanted. Another thing that had a major impact on my deciding to go to school and finish school was I have nieces and nephews who I had to babysit when I was growing up because my sisters had to work. They watched us, myself and another sister, and they watched us grow up. They watched us come through, high school. They watched like every move we made, and they wanted to be like us, quote unquote. And I would like to think that if they wanted to be more like us, work in the professional world, we have to encourage them. We have to encourage them to go to college as well, to seek out better experiences. Out of 14 nieces and nephews, I think one went into the Army, one has enrolled in college, and two are licensed cosmetologists. So just, again, trying to mentor those who came after me was another big factor. Let me go back a minute to high school and the guidance counselors who encouraged every student who had older siblings to apply for college. Because I did not have those older siblings in my family who'd gone to college, there was no high school guidance for me. It was pretty much, the way that I interpreted guidance and counseling was, you'll find something to do. I didn't feel that I didn't know what a guidance counselor's role was. I knew that they met with students, but I was not one of the students that they met with. And I believe that it was only because my older siblings did not go to college. They taught all of my older siblings, all of my teachers and guidance counselors. But when it was time for me to graduate, or when I was a junior, nobody sought me out to say, hey, you could go to college, and here's how you apply for higher education, here's how you apply for financial aid. So I had to learn all of this on my own, trial and error. There was one professor who was African American, or professor, I'm sorry, teacher who was African American. She was a middle school teacher. She assisted me with getting a scholarship from an African American sorority. And at the time I didn't understand what the scholarship was, so I did not use it at all. It wasn't a full ride scholarship. I think it was probably enough to pay for books or whatever. But I didn't use it because I didn't understand what it was for. Even though she asked me to apply, she helped me get it. She didn't bother to explain it to me. And again, guidance counselors, if your older siblings did not go to school and if you did not appear to be from a higher socioeconomic status, nothing. I think it made me a little bit more aware of people who are coming through high school now, or in my hometown. I stay in touch with my nieces and nephews, even the ones who are 12 years old. I stay in touch with them, and I continue to encourage them to pursue higher education. I actually have a nephew who's thinking about going to college right now. I called another nephew who's at University of Memphis and asked him to call his cousin, talk to him about school and applying for financial aid, and make sure that he is on the right track and he is thinking about the right college with the right major for him. Now that I understand how the system of higher education works a little bit more, then I'm able to tell others a little bit more about it. Rather than me surrounding myself with people surrounded themselves around me. I hung out with psychology majors. I was a psych major. With biology majors because I was not as skilled in biology as I should have been. Students who understood math better than I did, and students who were interested in things that I was interested in, volunteer service, same career goals, I was tight with the residence life staff, the RA staff, because often we had to plan similar programs. We fed off of each other's ideas. Some of us did choose to go into higher ed. And the connections that I made were lasting connections. I'm still in touch with everybody that I was surrounded by in undergrad. I would stay in college because it was unheard of, other than my one cousin from my from my hometown. Nobody thought that I would finish. One sister knew that I would finish. So I made it a point to stay there, do my work, not complain, even though math and science, just not my bag. I just made it a point to stick it out, no matter how much I wanted to not stick it out, no matter how much I wanted to work a full-time job or work a full-time job and a part-time job like everybody else. I made it a point to stay in school, learn what I needed to learn. And the things that I did not need to learn were also interesting to me, like art and music, history. So I got a lot more out of it than I bargained for. Well, she's one of the ones who had to quit school to babysit us while my mom worked. And she just constantly said, you know, I know you can do this no matter how hard it is. Don't give up. She would do my laundry. She would cook for the circle of friends on campus, which is a big deal. And she just constant encouragement. And when they are telling their kids, see, your auntie is in college, you know, you want to do this when you grow up, it kind of gives you a sense of pride, of ownership of your education, and it gives you the sense that you can give something back. I did not go home a lot. Even though my college was probably 30 minutes away from home, I made it a point not to, so that I would not get wrapped up into that small town culture again. And the city was not a huge city like Chicago, but it was a big city. It was the capital city. So I stayed on campus and surrounded myself just with things that were a part of the school, so that I could understand the college culture a little more. I already understood what was going on at home. There was no need for me to, you know, run back and forth. And phones I could call all the time. So there was, again, no need for me to run back and forth. I was also able to get my nieces and nephews on campus to see campus life. My friend who directed the volunteer service office had an Olympics for special children. Some of my nieces and nephews and cousins helped out with that. They assisted the children with their events. They painted faces and things like that. So they were involved with that, and it meant a lot to me and to my family that I would get them involved in the college culture at an early age. The balance between the two was just communication. There was no, it wasn't hard for me to balance the two, because I knew what the goal was, to get done with college and to move on to the next step. I did choose to work in higher ed because of the hurdles that I had to overcome, and just understanding how the process works right now. I'm not a financial aid advisor, but I'm able to give a little advice to students about financial aid. I'm able to direct them towards which questions they really want to ask, and I'm able to explain a little bit more about the processes to them as they're coming through our office, or as relatives from home communicate with me.